Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth plus 55 wins in a row. Nearly just double tapped myself into a run as the loss. That would have been mighty interesting. J1JN C48K. We got stats you can build on. We got the D6. I had to check and make sure we were not Isaac. Thankfully, we are not Isaac. Well, not thankfully. It would actually, I mean, be beneficial from a win standpoint to be Isaac, but I would have to, I mean, atone for the fact that 2 of our last, like, 10 runs we had accidentally... It doesn't matter, we didn't do it. But yeah, we're here. It's a Monday. Make sure you do the little things right. It's always a vulnerable period. When you come back from being away, I didn't record Isaac for maybe... Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, for a day. No, for 2 days. My day off, and then also on Sunday, I had to bust out like a bunch of Spelunky 2 videos, because we're basically doing 2-a-days, like, you know, high school football practice, if you're at a school that's good at football, I suppose. It's like coming back from summer vacation. You know, you might have been the greatest student in 6th grade. When you come back, you know, it's the 21st night of September. You might have forgotten how to do long division. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was... Ooh, that's like... It's almost tempting. It's almost tempting. Because we could crack into so much stuff. Oh, man. Let me take a look here for a minute. Oh, jeez. Because, like, we can get a key out of it. We could bust all these down. Oh, but I think Stompy is not very good in general, though. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll it because we have a battery charge available. But it does burn me up, because I actually think that could be super beneficial in the early game. Or at least modestly beneficial, if not super beneficial. So charm tiers are takeable, but I think that we would rather maybe get one more re-roll. We probably won't get the chance. What would I rather have? Charm tiers or Leo? Honestly, I would rather have charm tiers. I'm not gonna say like we royally screwed this up, but Leo for like a floor could have been pretty sick. Oh my god, dude, I'm so dumb actually, because I'm realizing now we actually have Lucky Rock. And that's one, I'll just take the L on that one, right? I didn't look at the trinket that we had, because most of the time... I mean, I'm not going to say it's mostly irrelevant, but I mean, you know that's true. But yeah, we would essentially have infinite money here, which would make a very large difference. That's unfortunate for sure. That would have been pretty swell. I think we fight the... Yeah, I think we fight the boss. And then we'll see how things look. And we might try to buy a battery charge from the shop. Our stats are good enough that this is not like a nightmare Ragman fight. Like, anything can happen, but... You know, 9 rate of fire, 3 damage is... You know, that's pretty steady. Look, I'll complain. I'm not gonna not complain in Isaac, because I think that's unsustainable. However, you know, on a good run, I'm not gonna complain about a vanilla Ragman. That's just like, you can complain about everything. Dude, I gotta tell you, so I'm switching my mind, like, you know how, like, in the song Regulate, as a teenager, it never struck me how funny this is, but Nate Dogg in the song Regulate has a line that says, I laid all them suckers down, I let my gat explode, now I'm switching my mind back into freak mode. Like, that's how nonchalant he is about... Admittedly, I do want to say, Nate Dogg was killing people in self-defense. It's not like he went out to try to execute, like, a massacre. He, you know, they had, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase it. They had, what does he say? What does Warren G say? I'm like... trying to run through all the lyrics in my head. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the eve so I could get some phones, rolling in my ride, chilling all alone. Just hit the east side of the LBC. And I'm not going to get there, but that's okay. Let me make sure I got some HP here. because I want to go to the curse room if possible. You gotta be a little careful. That's exactly what I was afraid of, quite frankly. We will not even open the other chest. In my head, I like pre-programmed. I was like, if we encounter a bomb, just get the frick out of Dodge. Man, oh man, I wish I took Stompy, though. We would be very rich right now. But I love how he so easily and seamlessly transitions from murder to like, alright, where were we? So it's one of the reasons I think Regulate is such a great song. It's just so audacious. Again, another room where Stompy would have been pretty sick for us. We're kind of, you know, this is why you should pay attention to your trinkets. It's not always going to be relevant, but... Anyway, so I gotta switch my mind back into Isaac mode after playing a bunch of Spelunky. What a game, by the way. We are indeed on a Monday here. Definitely like the last week, if we even get a week out of it, of recording and streaming prior to the birth. Really sneaks up on you. I mean, I say it sneaks up on you, but it really didn't really sneak up. It was more like, you know, we had like 8.5 months of knowing it was coming, but it being relatively far away, and then just being like, oh, okay, it's here. I'm looking forward to it, obviously. I mean, how many times can we talk about it without it being here, right? I'm speaking in theory instead of in practice. For now, I'm just focused on making sure we do some good stuff in Isaac. Certainly want to, you know, ideally not lose over the course of the next, you know, 5 or 6 runs. If we're able to get that much time out of it. It would be nice to carry a surplus. Bit of a miscalculation there. I apologize for talking Isaac, by the way, but I'm realizing, like, every room we come into that has 75 rocks on it and a bunch of pots and, like, tinted rocks and etc., I just find myself being like, man, Stompy sure would have hit the spot right here, but it's okay. We're not blowing up the shopkeeper with the coins in his eyes, because instead of that, we can blow this up. And look at that. We even got a bomb out of the tinted rock, so that's extremely great. The good news is, like, Lucky Rock is already extremely great. So just because we're not getting much out of it, or as much out of it as we might have if we had Stompy, we're still, you know, we're laughing all the way to the bank. But I'm not going to use bombs to get more coins until we go into our shop and see what our shop's got on offer. But yeah, I had a good weekend, you know. Can't really complain. Trying to think, Saturday was like insanely low-key. I had to run to the bank. And then apart from that, I watched like 6 episodes of the HBO Max show Raised by Wolves. And honestly, it was like a very low-key Saturday, which I think is a good fit right now. I wasn't even, like I'll be honest with you about Raised by Wolves. Again, I think 10 bombs is certainly mighty tempting when we have Lucky Rock. I think that show gets a lot worse as it goes along, but it's still entertaining the whole way through. But I think you've heard me talk about it recently. We don't need to go into it so frequently and prodigiously. Definitely no curses is highly good. And then I was just going to say, this is probably our room here. So here's the way I look at it. We don't need 10 bombs if we get enough bombs to kind of just put us over like the escape velocity. Like, we don't need an injection of 10 bombs. If instead, you know, we can just get like, you know, 4 bombs per floor or something. That would keep us in the money. What I would rather do is reroll to try to get some stats. Really, like, to be honest with you, our most... It's a tougher position to be in than you'd think, because our stats are, like, at least... I think they're pretty average. Like, 2 HP, 9 rate of fire. 9 rate of fire is great, but below average damage for sure kind of rebalances that. So we kind of don't have anything to leverage in order to improve our most prickly stats right now, our most underachieving stats. So a deal with the devil is going to have to, you know, cross the Sinvicta threshold of goodness in order to qualify for acceptance right now. But we'll see. So that's not rerollable. We definitely take that. And then these items are pretty much garbage. So we throw in a fat reroll, and they're pretty much garbage for a second time. I think you love to buy a Spirit Heart, and then we try to get some value out of this shop. Because, like, just work with me here for a second. We definitely... it's not the worst thing in the world to have taken that damage. We could have gotten in and out a little bit faster, though. But with 3 bombs, we should be able to get to reroll City. Just trying to see, like, the best place to place this. Wheel of Fortune, by the way. That takes us to 20 cents. This could be... I think this is where we atone for our previous... you know, you could call it a mistake if you... It's a legitimate mistake. We are going to take these bombs, and we're going to use these bombs to finance some good reroll actions here. What's worth more, 1 bomb or 5 cents? Probably a bomb is worth more right now. Especially if we get a reroll a little faster. I'm going to go for the reroll again. I do not like it. Hold on, we got 10 bombs. This, I mean, I know we've spent 11 minutes on the first 2 floors here, but this is the kind of thing where you're like, it's potentially going to make a pretty marked difference. Any kind of statistical improvement would be real sick right now. Come on. Alright, dude, this is the same items, you jerk. Okay, so Humbling Bundle. Now we're like, this is... And I don't think it's gonna manifest on this floor, the first floor in which we've seen all these benefits, but we're not too far away from hidden kind of like infinites. Oh, I didn't mean to place that down, but at least we'll get a decent amount out of it. It definitely allows us to play the shop meta a little bit more easily. Every bomb is worth at least 2 times as much. So now we're up to 34 cents. We walk it back. Now we got enough money where honestly I'm like, we should probably buy as many Spirit Hearts as we come across too. I gotta be honest, like, Remote Detonator is actually extremely worth it. 5 bombs for 15 cents. We're definitely gonna get more than 5 cents per bomb on average. Okay, Diplopia. You definitely do not mind popping Diplopia down. And then if we could also buy a battery charge, we could re-roll the second map, which obviously is gonna provide us with no benefit. And all of a sudden, we're starting to tease this one apart. And again, without tooting my own horn too much, I definitely think that, well, I definitely think a couple of things. One is, if we had simply taken Stompy, we wouldn't have to engage in this song and dance to begin with. The other one, though, is, I think me, 2 years ago, doesn't make this play. I just head down to the next floor and then go like, wah, I didn't get what I wanted. So, we will do this. I wonder if we can get an extra 5 bombs out of this. We did. That's awesome. So then we definitely want one of these. And this is a big reroll, but we don't have to do the reroll just yet. We might want to purchase another item, for example, and then do the reroll. So Blue Candle is, it's interesting, but I don't even think I want to buy it for the reroll. Okay, Trinket Smelter. I think it's worth the 15 cents, because money should not be much of an object. To smelt Lucky Rock so we always have it, we will buy this. Let's buy this as well, just to, okay, I don't mind it. And then we'll reroll all this. Blanket is pretty okay. Ladder's largely irrelevant. Box of Friends is completely irrelevant. But Pokego is okay. So, certainly, statistically, we haven't improved our run all that much. Why not, dude? That's actually pretty good. But But, you know, in terms of, like, eking every last bit of value out of that floor, I think we did a great job. And, you know, the thing I gotta remember is that it sets us up better for the future as well. So, I mean, I'll level with you 1000%. There's no way we leave this room without Satanic Bible. Except, I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? We wouldn't mind just getting as many charges for that library as possible, because we could turn it into an item room. Nope, we will be leaving now. Anyway, we still got a long way to go, but like, I mean, it's certainly a lot better now than it was when we had pretty much the exact same stats, but 1/2 spirit heart instead of like 6.5. Let me through, please. Anyway, you don't always have... 5.5. You don't always have to do that amount of legwork to get where you're going, but, you know, it is always worth something. I can't deny that, and I think I did for a while, but you can't deny it anymore. Let's see what our item room entails. Well, okay, absolutely not. So that, I don't know, that would probably be more of a valuable reroll than rerolling, well, now that I think about it, why would I ever go back to that library? This is why we don't make split-second decisions, you know? Unless we were forced to, and sometimes you are. Okay. Why would we ever reroll Satanic Bible to try to turn an item room into a library into an item room? You really expect to get something better than Satanic Bible? Like, oh, sure, the best defensive item in the game is pretty good, but you know what's better? A range upgrade. I think we should roll the rest of this floor. Yeah, let's go. Using the D6. And then, when we're leaving the floor, take Satanic Bible with us. You ever think about how funny it would be if Bible had 2 B's in the middle instead of just the 1? I know, you're like, it does have 2 B's. That's why I said in the middle, Arnold. From the Magic School Bus. That's right, I'm suggesting, wouldn't it be funny if it was called the Bibble instead of the Bible? It's just, you know, I don't make the rules. 2 B's in the center of a word amps up the silliness quotient of that word. Buble, not that funny. Bubble, hilarious. Gets the people going. Aquarius, not very good for the record, not very good. Can you imagine? Some guys get all the luck. Michael Bublé, born in Vancouver, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Sorry, no offense. Oh, now we're talking. Handsome, although I'm sure he's had to work for it as well. Great singing voice. And then the Pepsi Corporation names their sparkling water brand. Essentially, something that sounds exactly like his name. You know, as soon as he saw that there was a sparkling water brand called Bubbly, he was like... I apologize for where this bit is going. Excuse me, agent, could you get on the phone with the Pepsi? I just picture him talking exclusively in, like, fake Frank Sinatra singing all the time. How was your day? Probably just talks like a normal guy. I know him, and he does. Well, you're my fact-checking cuz. Alright. We have a shop. It's taken us a bit. Look, we've had a lot of long runs. This one is long for the right reasons right now. PhD is actually fine. Verp will bring back a telepills. Not really that persuaded. We'll drop an AWAS just so... Oh. Ooh la la. But, oh, look how he's coming down the ladder, dude. Well, the reason we dropped AWAS is because we want to take Verp with us. Now that we have pills being good, you know, something like... I mean, you don't need me to tell you there's any variety of pills that are, you know, useful in that situation. I'm trying to think what would be best for us. And it's weird, because we don't really need a Tears upgrade. Like, I mean, we're at the cap, I think. But something with a little bit of extra offensive punch would definitely hit the spot. Again, you want to talk about doing the little things right? It got one. That's so good. Alright, so we're gonna do this room just because we want the full battery charge, and we should be good to head to the next floor. The biggest boon we could probably get right now is if we could maybe just get shops with reroll machines in them. That does a lot for us, for certain. Well, that is why we're happy to have the blanket, I suppose. So we're gonna get an orbital. I love an orbital. It's a little dangerous, but I do love an orbital. We're more looking forward to a potential, you know, deal with the devil, deal with the angel situation with the reroll. Take a little godhead, take a little mom's knife, take a little brimstone. Take a little bit of your luck from me. Alright, not gonna happen. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not even, like, worried about it, dude. I'm not even sweating it. We bought both of the items in here, so no reroll is necessary. Alright, I mean, this is the end of this floor. We will be losing the D6 to take Satanic Bible with us, and it's the right play. But yeah, in terms of, like, you know, what's going on in my life, it's pretty much, you know, just being, and this is not frustration, but it's being on call like 24/7, knowing that at any given moment your life could change, you know, forever. Which honestly, it definitely lends a certain element of excitement. You know, if you've dealt with this situation before, and by the way, it's way easier for me than it is for Kate. If you've ever dealt with this situation before, I'm sure you can relate to, you know, Google searching for what does a contraction feel like? Is that a contraction? Or is it gas? Or is it the baby moving? Or is it a false contraction? You know, there's no, like, green light that's like, hey, go to the hospital immediately. You kind of Google's your friend. It is crazy to think. Like, and I've talked about this before, but we can do it again. So many times, you know, anytime people get annoyed that you're taking steps to... I don't think that's worth verping. You're taking steps to, you know, baby-proof your life to some extent. Baby-proof your home, at least. People are like, you know, human beings have been having babies for, like, you know, so many millennia at this point. I was gonna say 6 billion years. I think I got my numbers a little crossed up there. But, you know, it's like back in the day, the cavemen didn't have, you know, penicillin. Cavemen didn't have, you know, vaccinations, and they got by okay. Did they get by okay, though? That's my real question for this. Because, like, I would not describe the life of a caveman as... Look, I mean, it's a little judgmental, but it certainly seems like there was a lot more hardship. I don't know what it is. Like, I guess the spirit I'm taking into this bit is like, why is it always like the keyboard warriors who are like, I wish society would go back to, you know, the Neolithic era? I'm like, dude, you spend, like, no disrespect, this is gonna come across disrespectful, for sure. But I'm like, you watched, you know, 17 episodes of My Hero Academia today, and you're really gonna be like, society made a wrong turn when we invented electricity or something. It's just a very weird take. It's a very strange take to me. But these are the kind of things you think about when you're watching, you know, episode 5 of Raised by Wolves, and you're like, oh, are they really gonna go in this direction? And with all the potential, you know, the interest factor they could be bringing, they're really gonna go with this? Anyway, okay. Does it help? No, we didn't break our tier cap. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, baby. This stinks. I'm gonna take both. I really hope it doesn't take Rotten Baby from me, but we need better deals with the devil regardless. It didn't take rotten baby, dude. That's incredible luck. We lost Spider Mod and Cube of Meat. Cube of Meat is a loss. Spider Mod, nobody cares. So that's huge. And honestly, like, our stats are in a much, much, much better place now. It's gonna be a little funky for a bit here. I mean, this run is, like, kind of deceptively challenging, honestly. I think this, you know, sometimes you have runs that are way easier than they look. This is the kind of run that I honestly feel the opposite about. I feel like this run is actually a lot harder than it looks. But we're definitely getting to the point where it's not going to be a cruise, but... I mean, we're at 24 minutes on the Catacombs, too. I was wondering, I'm like, why do I keep stop-starting the banter here? And I'm like, maybe because you're at, like, roughly the length of your average Isaac episode, but you're only 4 floors into the game? That might have something to do with it. But yeah, that's pretty much my weekend. Again, you know, it's kind of thing where you're in a holding pattern, you know? You don't really want to start making plans. I'm even at the point now, like, because it's, you know, extremely pending, where I'm like, you know, I don't even want to, like, buy groceries and come back and be like, we gotta go immediately, you know? I just want to, like, be here and hang out. You know, that's why I'm like recording a lot. You know, I should be working less for sure, but I'm also like, at least recording keeps me at home. And like, if Kate's like, oh, I got contractions that are 5 minutes apart, we gotta go, I'm like, all right, just hold it in for a minute. I'm almost done this Isaac episode. I'm joking. I'm joking. And then you expect me to be like, or am I? No, I am, obvious. Because you gotta be really careful with the jokes on the internet. Some people, they take them too seriously. Even, like, you know, again, it's not meant to be rude, but sometimes, like, the internet is, like, backwards. Or at least the parasocial relationship dynamic is backwards. Sometimes I'll tweet about, like, a serious thing, and everybody is, like, tripping over themselves to be, like, at midnight. Well, not everybody, but a certain proportion of people trip over themselves in the replies to be like, hey, I know you tweeted, like, a really sensitive thing, but, you're bald, lol. And I'm like, okay, you got me. And then sometimes you tweet a joke, and then people, the same group of people will be like, here's why that joke doesn't make sense in reality. And you're like, what? You got your polarities confused here. The jokes, you don't... No. You don't examine the jokes through the lens of realism, except 20 years after the fact, like I do with that Chris Rock joke, where he says, like, if stuff doesn't happen, shouldn't you get your money back from insurance? And I'm like, Chris, this doesn't make any sense at all. That's called a savings account. But anyway, like, I'm not gonna... We don't need to worry about it too much. And then the serious stuff, you just either ignore it or you click the heart or you say, like, hey, you know, I hope everything works itself out. Like, I made it's kind of a joke slash observation this weekend where I was like, you know, I got the medium plus blues. What are the medium plus blues? I'm as a shirt size right now, I'm in between a medium and a large. I am naturally a medium, for sure. Quarantine's got me feeling a certain way. And I maybe worked my way up into the medium plus camp. But it's like I believe I said the mediums, sometimes they run a little tight. They got me looking like a little tuna can. And, you know, a large, I'm swimming in it like my name's Ian Thorpe. And a lot of people went, I resonate with this. A lot of people went lull, and then some people were like, you should move to Asia where they have like numerical sizes instead of oh dude, that's pretty good. Instead of you know, small, medium, large, XL, etc. sizes. And I was like, you know, I mean, it's not like that's mean-spirited or anything, but like, it's kind of just a joke. And then another person, they got really up, and you might be watching this, they got up in my mentions about like taking my graphic tees to a tailor to get them worked on. And then they even, and I don't know if they know that I know this, but I was like, man, this person's going off about tailors, which I gotta be honest is like pretty good advice. Then I saw that they had screenshotted my tweet about not wanting to take my shirts to a tailor, and then had tweeted it out to their followers, like as a cap, like a screen capture, and then used me as like a cautionary tale. I was honestly a little bit offended. I was like, it's one thing to think that we're maybe having like a civil discussion. It's another, you're like, here's what you gotta do, but then in the back channel, you're like, look at this moron, I'm gonna screen cap his tweets so to use him as a cautionary tale. I was like, it's just a joke. Plus, you know, again, I'm not too worried about my shirts fitting that well right now to begin with. I'm kind of, you know, we got other priorities in my life. But anyway, it's weird because it's like it didn't even cross the line. It was just, I was just sort of like, huh. How about that? Yo, a theme? Certainly worth taking. You know what Sheryl Crow said? You know a theme would do you good. I think people think that I don't check their profiles. I always check the profile. And it's... I'm leaving those bone hearts, by the way. I don't know if they screw up W of Babylon. But we do it anyway. Or we ignore them, I should say, because we got Satanic Bible regardless. But yeah, I always check the profile, and I emphasize it. I think it's important for context, you know? But I do think, I don't know. I mean, this is not like an anti-Twitter bit. I was just surprised. It was less of like, oh, someone's being mean to me online, and much more of like, huh, this person really cares about the tailoring industry. Enough so that they took my joke and turned it into a cautionary tale. I believe in their words that if your jeans don't fit right, rich people will know you're not one of us. And one of us was all capitalized, which is like, it's very official. Anyway, I don't know how to interpret that, but I was like, I'm not gonna deny it, my jeans kind of suck. I bought them from Winners. But I will say, I had some nice jeans that so at TwitchCon like 2 years ago, I've told this story before, but I blew out the crotch on my jeans, which just happens a lot. And I wish I could say that it was due to like some kind of Lyndon B. Johnson-esque endowment, but you know, really it's just, I honestly have no idea why it happens. I think it's like a big thighs sort of thing. If they're gonna fit, if they're gonna fit right, in, you know, the thighs, I mean, I don't know. They're just tearing. I don't know. Again, maybe I got to take him to a tailor. This is probably, again, just vindicating the take because I think it's good advice to begin with. We might as well be spendy here. One moment, please. Don't really want blank card. Tarot cloth is fine. Let me think about this one as we do it. That's placebo. I don't think we have a verp. I'd rather have placebo and then dump it than get the broken stopwatch, though. Alright, I think we're good here. We don't really want red candle. Maybe we'd rather take blank card with us and just hold it in case we get a great card. But I got really... so we were in San Francisco for TwitchCon, or San Jose. And I blew out the crotch of my jeans. We were in like a super bougie neighborhood. And, you know, I was like, I needed jeans stat, right? So the only places around were like pretty expensive boutique stores. And I bought a couple of pairs of jeans. They were nice. And I really liked them. I was like, these are, you know, A, they look good, and B, they're really comfortable. They both tore out the crotch probably within, I would say 6 months. Less than a year for sure on each pair. Again, I will say, you know, for context, man, we are really on the depths one, huh? I'm one of those prodigious jean wearers. Like, I will wear a pair of jeans, and by the way, you know, we can get into this discussion if you want. I have principles on this. It's not like I just did it out of laziness, but I will wear the same pair of jeans 3 weeks, 4 weeks before washing. As a child, We know that there's nothing in that shop we like. As a child, as a teenager, when my mom did my laundry, she washed my jeans in between each wearing, which is truly insane. I'm here to tell you, and again, I'm not a clothing expert, obviously, but this is what I've heard from people who are. It's not necessary, you know, especially if they're denim. Denim is a very sturdy fabric. Secondarily, it kind of screws up the wash on the jeans. I know that sounds humorous, given that we're talking about washing, but you know, it can cause the color to fade. But more than that, it's just like unnecessary. It's kind of the same. Like, I actually think, like, you can compare it to like washing your towel every time you dry off from the shower. Except I actually think it's kind of a bad comparison in that way. Because I actually think, like, washing your towel every time you shower is probably, like, in a perfect world where we didn't have to worry about the environment so much, or your free time, you might consider that, like, actually to have a purpose, whereas with the jeans, it's kind of, like, even counterintuitive. Anyway, we've gone way too far, like, on this bit. But, essentially, you know what? I'm gonna look for, like, the Emperor card. We're kind of good to go on this one. The spirit of the bit is that the expensive jeans, broke, and could be repaired, for sure, but broke, in a relatively short amount of time. And I gotta be honest with you, these, like, $20 jeans I got from Winners have been crushing it now. Come on, come on, come on! Awaz, Yera. I guess we'll hold Yera. We should have kept Ancient Recall and then used it to try to get to an Emperor card. It would have saved us a lot. But, you know, I hope you'll forgive me some shortcomings here and some impatience with my play, considering, you know, we are 35 minutes into the run and have not fought Mom yet, which is kind of insane. You want this for sure. We do have 85 keys. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm not saying the cheap jeans are better. But if I'm at a point in my life, for the time being, where I'm a little bit more concerned with the longevity and comfort status, they're getting it done. But anyway, I do want to say, like, the person that was suggesting I get the stuff tailored is probably right. But I was also like, you know, it's not, it was a, you know, like literally stepped out of the shower. I bought, Jay, Wolves at My Doors merchandise. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited to try on the new shirt. I had a lot of tight mediums lately, so I went up to a large. I put on the large and I was kind of swimming, which again is not Jay's fault. And who knows what the first, you know, few years of the baby is going to do to my midsection. But, I was more like, you know, it was like a little neurological impulse that popped out in 2 seconds. We definitely just dump it. I don't know how to get rid of that. And then you're forced to, like, I guess that's the disproportionate side of being a content creator, you know, or any kind of public figure, really. You know, you can have like a little thought that you poop out in like 2 seconds, and then you're forced to defend it in the marketplace of ideas with people who care way more than you. Which I think in principle, if you're on the other side, you're like, that will lead to stronger opinions. And you're like, yeah, but if you let yourself get wrapped up in it, you can also ruin a bunch of your days by getting into we've all seen it, I've been a part of them, some meaningless arguments that make no sense whatsoever, and the next day everybody goes, why did we do that? Doesn't make any sense. That's the exhausting part. Whatever you say, I mean, again, this is not a venting about being a content creator bit. It's just sometimes, like, you make the joke and then, you know, 100 people reply with, like, here's why your joke doesn't make sense, and you're like, thanks for that. Really, I just wanted to see people type ha ha. If you could just type ha ha and not criticize me in any way, that would be for the best. Thank you. I'm not saying it's fair. So, for the time being, this run is still, it's not gonna lose, okay? That much is essentially guaranteed. It still might take us a little while. And I'm hoping that maybe, like, we get some deals with the devil that really take us to the next level here. Or, alternatively, I'll just be honest, like, the Emperor card would really hit the spot, but we will finish this. It's merely a matter of how long it will take. Usually, because I always, you know, I, like, look at the video, and where we're at in the video. Usually, by the time we make it to the womb, we're like, I would say 70% through the video on average. So we're probably getting pretty close to the end here, even though it might not feel like it. It's been a really weird run where we have said no to a lot of things that would otherwise be good because we hit the tier cap, like, so early. Right, for some reason I keep thinking I have the ability to fly. Either way, though, we're set here. I can't complain. I mean, you know, I can complain about minor things, obviously, but in the whole scope of the Isaac streak, I'm not gonna complain about any run that, you know, lends itself towards a dub. Very happy, and, you know, if every single win from this point onwards takes an hour, it takes an hour. Not a bad time to have Yera, that's for certain. We're not gonna pick up anything else because we're already at 99 cents. We would pick it up if we thought they could be luck upgrades, but they can only be luck upgrades if they're single pennies. All the single pennies. All the single pennies. Can I tell you something? And this is not like, oh, you know, check out how enlightened I am. I don't listen to popular music. I was thinking the other day, I think Beyonce might be the most famous artist of all time for whom I can't really name many of their songs. And I'm being sincere with you. So I know, you know, Destiny's Child, that's from my adolescence. And then, you know, Crazy in Love. And Bonnie and Clyde, featuring Jay-Z. We don't really call him that here, but still. It's a good recurring bit, in my opinion. I would like to duplicate them. But then after that, I know, If I Were a Boy. Because I remember there used to be there was a college humor parody called If I Were a Bro. And I was like, hey, this melody's pretty good. Turns out it's a Beyonce original. And then I know all the single ladies because of the Saturday Night Live skit that went mega viral. And then, actually, can I tell you? So I ended up, in one of my, there's a biology class at my university that's only offered every other year. So I ended up taking it as a third year, with a bunch of people who were in second year. So I was kind of like, I don't want to say I was the elder statesman, but I was kind of like the odd man out, for sure. And then, my lab group, they're just, you know, a little bit younger than me. That was when that song was insanely famous, and you use something in labs called Ringer's solution. And I remember they were talking about, like, getting t-shirts made up that said, if you liked it, then you should have put some ringers on it. And they were like, would you get the shirt? And everybody was like, yeah, yeah. And they were like, Ryan, would you get the shirt? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, come on. And I was like, I'm not gonna wear that shirt. I don't want to have to explain. Yeah, first off, I'm not even that big into the, you know, I don't even know, as we've just established, I don't know that many Beyonce songs. And then second, people are going to be like, oh, you must be a huge fan of Beyonce. And I'd be like, not really. Then they'd be like, okay, what's Ringers? And I'd be like, well, get ready for the story of your life. It's a reagent you use in molecular biology labs. You know? Why'd you buy the shirt? I wanted to fit in. I was worried the younger kids would make fun of me if I didn't buy it. So of course I'm not gonna buy it. I was in college, man. Like the 20 bucks requires to buy that shirt, 25 bucks maybe. That's a substantial amount of capital. Anyway, back to Beyonce. So I know that one. What a strange assortment of items here. I know that one. And I know Halo. Halo's not my kind of song, but she's got a heck of a vocal part on it. That's about it, dude. I think that's like all the Beyonce I know. Which is kind of surprising. Like, some people are going to be watching this and be like, I didn't know any of those. Which is, you know, understandable, I guess. But, like, for an artist that's been around so long, let's do it. Let's get weird. For an artist that's been around so long, I feel like that's a pretty low amount of songs to know. Like, I think it's possible I could probably name more Justin Bieber songs than Beyonce. Even though Beyonce's been around, you know, making solo stuff since 2003. And Justin Bieber, I don't know, you know, popped down in like 2009 or something like that. Just got a weird blind spot. I mean, I got a lot of musical blind spots. I'll admit to you. I have a big musical blind spot with Pink Floyd. Like, I know, The Wall. I know Money. I know Wish You Were Here. There's got to be like a couple more. But I know you're like, what about Dark Side of the Moon? So I have, again, one time I was with a friend of mine. We were taking a bus trip. And on the way back on the bus trip, he gave me one of his headphones, and we were listening to Dark Side of the Moon. And I was like, you know, this album is like, it's pretty good. And he's like, yeah, it was on the Billboard Hot 200 for like 3 decades. But then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get more into this when I get home. And then just never listened to it again. I got a big Pink Floyd blind spot. Oh, that's big. Yeah, it is. We got a 0.09 speed upgrade, dude. Incredible. All right. So this run came through at the end of the day. It was 47 minutes to get to this point, but we definitely did get there. And that'll be 56 wins in a row. We fought and clawed for this one. But what's done is done. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!